Namaste, Haribol. I'm Katie Rose. I just dropped my kids at school for their first day after the very long Australian school holidays, and it's their first day at a new school, my three younger children. So it was a big day for our family, starting a new school, and the first day of school is always a big deal. And the school they're starting at is a Christian school. And when I dropped my daughter into her preschool, one of the mums was also dropping her daughter at the same time. And she said to her little girl, goodbye, have a beautiful day. She gave her a kiss and she said, and may God bless you. And then, she left and her daughter walked into the classroom. And it just was such a beautiful thing to hear a mother say to her child at school drop-off, such a simple, sweet moment that I witnessed in a mother-daughter relationship. And it made me think about all the different ways in which we can offer blessings or offer a thought of, a wish that someone may be cared for and looked after and feel loved. And that so often we miss this in our culture and in our society. It's just not part of our everyday kind of conversation or the way that we speak, for many of us at least. And I was thinking about my teacher, Sharon Gannon, co-founder of Jivamukti Yoga, who's been my teacher for many, many years now, decades. And she has a really, really beautiful teaching around this that she shares, which she calls the magical power of giving blessings. And I remember the first time I came across this teaching, feeling like I had a question in my mind around who am I to give a blessing? Like, I'm not a guru, I'm not a enlightened being. Like, why should I be someone that can give a blessing to another person? But actually Sharon explained to us that we all have this ability. We all have the ability to hold a heartfelt intention that another person may be feeling and experiencing love and maybe feeling and experiencing blessed. And so there's no arrogance or kind of ego in offering a blessing to another person, but rather a desire that they may feel uplifted, that they may feel loved, that they may feel the presence of the divine, the presence of source in their everyday life. And what a beautiful thing to offer our children. In the instructions for the magical power of giving blessings, Sharon suggests that we do this privately and silently. So her suggestion is not that we kind of go about, giving blessings to everybody that we meet, but rather that as we interact with other humans, or even in our morning meditation or in our own personal sadhana or spiritual practice, we might take the time to think of others and to send them loving kindness, to send them blessings, and literally in our mind's eye or even out loud to say, may they be blessed, may they experience joy and love, and to hold those people in mind. And particularly to do so with those with whom we are struggling or having difficulty. So that could be people that you love, it could be your child or your partner or someone in your life that you're struggling with a bit in the moment. Or it could be, someone in a position of power, like a politician or somebody that has a lot of authority in the world, and perhaps you disagree with their policies and you disagree with what's happening. It's a really powerful and beautiful spiritual practice to pray, which is essentially what we're doing when we engage in this practice of the magical power of giving blessings, and to ask that they may be supported, to ask that they may experience God's love, and to ask that their hearts may be opened. And at a time in the world where there is so much crisis, there is so much disconnection, polarity, argument, heartbreak, it's a really, really tough time on planet Earth right now. The magical power of giving blessings is actually a profound and radical action that we can take to contribute to the upliftment of humanity and to ourselves, because obviously every time we do this practice, we're also blessing ourselves. We're also remembering our connection to God individually. It reminds me also of another practice that I've practiced over the years, and I've written about in a couple of my books as well, which is a Buddhist practice called the metta bhavana. Metta means unconditional love. It's a word that's hard to translate into English. It's friendliness, really, but it's more than friendliness. It's a desire that another human might experience happiness, joy, safety, all the good things in life. Like, it's a desire or a wish that another person may be uplifted. Really, regardless of what we think of that person, it's literally unconditional. And bhavana is the mood of, or the essence of, the feeling of. So when we do the metta bhavana meditation, we are we are projecting or suggesting or visualizing the mood of, the feeling of unconditional loving kindness towards other human beings. Again, regardless of whether we like their politics or whether we agree with their particular life choices or, what have you. And the Metta Bhavana has a particular structure to it. We offer blessings and metta to ourselves and to others. And we can look at different types of others. So we can look at those whom we love and who are close to us, those who we have a quite neutral relationships, for example, could be someone that serves you in a shop, or someone that you meet in a sort of acquaintance type situation. And then importantly, we also send metta to those with whom we're struggling. We send metta to those with whom we have difficulty. And in this way, we learn to sort of not be too compartmentalizing in our spirituality or too judgmental. It really helps to break down that sense of judgment that we can sort of have that sometimes leads to righteousness. And then finally, in this practice, we expand that desire for metta, that desire for loving kindness out into our homes, our communities, our schools, our churches, our libraries, our hospitals, our neighborhoods, and ultimately our country and the whole world. And so there's this sort of feeling, it almost becomes quite a spiritual practice, physical practice. The spiritual practice almost becomes quite physical, where we get to feel as if we are emitting this sense of loving kindness from our heart space out into the world. And again, yes, it's a gesture of desire that the world may be uplifted, but it's also in some ways quite a selfish practice, in the sense that this desire to emit blessing or to send metta out has a certain kind of magic for us as well. There's a ripple effect that's both internal and external. So in a time of great challenge and suffering on the planet, I hope that these ideas might be useful to you, and that they might help you to think about ways in which you can contribute that are not necessarily practical or logistical, but more about the heart and about your own spiritual practice and the way in which you move through the world.